Сегодня у нас тема об Иове.
Job 1.
И можем открыть наши Библии на книге Иова, 1 глава.
This is one of my favorite Bible stories.
Это одна из самых любимых историй Кайли.
Oh. I don't know. Huh. Okay. There we go. Okay. Job chapter 1, verse 1.
Откроем наши Библии на книге Иова, 1 глава.
Verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil.
Жил некогда человек в земле Уц, звали его Иов. Был он непорочен и честен перед Богом. Он благоговел и избегал зла.
Verse 2. 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him.
Было у него 7 сыновей и 3 дочери.
His possessions included 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys. In addition, he had a very great household. Thus, he was the greatest of all the people in the east.
Окей. И добра у него было много. 7000 коз и овец, 3000 верблюдов, 500 пар воловых упряжек, 500 ослиц и очень много слуг. И был этот человек самым великим среди всех сынов Востока.
Verse 4. Now, his sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one in turn, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with him.
Собирались сыновья его и поочередно устраивали пиры в доме одного из них и посылали за 3 своими сестрами есть и пить вместе с ними.
Verse 5. When the days of their feasting were finished, Job would send for them and sanctify them. He would get up early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job thought, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This was Job's customary practice.
А когда череда дней пиршеств завершалась, Иов посылал за детьми, совершал обряд очищения и, поднявшись на заре, приносил жертву всесожжения за каждого из них, рассуждая при этом так: вдруг согрешили мои дети, злословили...
Verse 6. Now the day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also arrived among them.
Я не дочитала тут еще. Вдруг они засловили Бога в сердце своем. Так поступал Иов всякий раз после их пиров. Однажды собрались сыны Божьи, чтобы предстать перед Господом. Вместе с ними пришел и противник.
Verse 7. The Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? And Satan answered the Lord, from roving about on the earth and from walking back and forth across it.
Спросил Господь противника: а откуда ты пришел? Тот ответил Господу: ходил я по земле и всю ее обошел.
Verse 8. So the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and turns away from evil.
И сказал Господь противнику: а ты приметил слугу моего Иова? Нет больше на земле такого человека. Непорочен он и честен предо мною, благоговеет и избегает зла.
Verse 9. Then Satan answered the Lord, is it for nothing that Job fears God? Have you not made a hedge around him and his household and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his livestock have increased in the land. But extend your hand and strike everything he has, and he will no doubt curse you to your face.
Окей. И ответил противник Господу: разве даром Иов благоговеет пред тобой? Не ты ли оградил его со всех сторон, и дом его, и все, чем он владеет? Всякое дело, за какое он не возьмется, ты благословил, и стада его заполнили землю. Но лишь протяни руку свою, коснись всего, что у него есть, и тогда он открыто проклянет тебя.
Oh, I made a mistake. I went through all the verses. Sorry.
I saw what I
I
said.
got
It's your
really
plan.
excited.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Excited.
All right, verse 12. So the Lord said to Satan, all right then, everything he has is in your power. Only do not extend your hand against the man himself. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord.
И сказал Господь противнику: вот все, что у него есть, в твоей власти, и лишь его самого не касайся. Тогда пошел противник прочь с глаз Господних.
Verse 13. Now the day came when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house.
И вот однажды, когда сыновья и дочери Иова ели и пили вино в доме старшего из братьев,
Verse 14. And a messenger came to Job saying, the oxen were plowing, and the donkeys were grazing beside them, and the Sabaeans swooped down and carried them all away, and they killed the servants with the sword.
приходит к Иову вестник с такими словами: «Волы твои были на пашне, а ослицы паслись неподалеку. Как вдруг напали сабияне, угнали скот, а слуг твоих изрубили мечами».
And only I alone escaped to tell you.
Только я один уцелел, чтобы поведать тебе об этом.
Verse 16. While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, the fire of God has fallen from heaven and has burned up the sheep and the servants. It has consumed them, and only I alone, escaped to tell you.
Не успел он закончить свою речь, как приходит другой вестник и говорит: огонь Божий пал с небес и сжег дотла овец, коз и слуг. Только я один уцелел, чтобы поведать тебе об этом.
Verse 17. While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and carried them all away. And they killed the servants with the sword. And only I alone, escaped to tell you.
Не успел он закончить свою речь, как приходит еще один вестник и говорит: напали халдеи 3 отрядами, захватили верблюдов и угнали их, а слуг изрубили мечами. Только я один уцелел, чтобы поведать тебе об этом.
Verse 18. While this one was still speaking, another messenger arrived and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house.
Не успел он закончить свою речь, как приходит другой вестник и говорит: сыновья твои и дочери ели и пили вино в доме старшего из братьев.
Verse 19. And suddenly a great wind swept across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they died. And only I alone, escaped to tell you.
И вдруг налетел из пустыни сильный ветер, повредил основание дома, рухнул он на всех, и они погибли. Только я один уцелел, чтобы поведать тебе об этом.
Verse 20. Then Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he threw himself down with his face to the ground.
И встал Иов, разодрал одежды свои, обрил голову, пал ниц на землю.
Verse 21. He said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. May the name of the Lord be blessed.
И сказал: нагим я вышел из утробы матери, нагим и возвращусь туда. Господь дал, Господь взял, да будет имя Господне благословенно.
Verse 22. In all this, Job did not sin, nor did he charge God with moral impropriety.
При всем этом не согрешил Иов и не возложил вину на Бога.
Okay, we're going to chapter 2, verses 1 through 10, and then we'll stop.
Мы переходим сейчас ко 2 главе до 10 текста, и на этом мы остановимся.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Again, the day came when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan also arrived among them to present himself before the Lord.
Однажды вновь собрались сыны Божьи, чтобы предстать перед Господом. Вместе с ним пришел и противник, чтобы также пред Господом предстать.
Verse 2. And the Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? Satan answered the Lord, from roving about on the earth and from walking back and forth across it.
Спросил Господь противника: откуда ты пришел? Тот ответил Господу: ходил я по земле и всю ее обошел.
Verse 3. Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on earth, a pure and upright man, one who fears God and turns away from evil. And he still holds firmly to his integrity, so that you stirred me up to destroy him without reason.
И сказал Господь противнику: «Ты приметил слугу моего Иова? Нет больше на земле такого человека. Непорочен он и честен. Предо мной благоговеет и избегает зла. Он по-прежнему тверд в своей непорочности, хотя ты убеждал меня разорить его беспричинно».
Verse 4. But Satan answered the Lord, skin for skin. Indeed, a man will give up all that he has to save his life.
И возразил противник Господу: «Каждый шкуру свою спасает. Все, что не есть у него, отдаст человек за свою жизнь».
Verse 5. But extend your hand and strike his bone and flesh, and he will no doubt curse you to your face.
Но лишь протяни свою руку, коснись костей его и плоти его, и тогда он открыто проклянет тебя.
Verse 6. So the Lord said to Satan, all right, he is in your power, only preserve his life.
И сказал Господь противнику: «Вот он весь в твоей власти, только жизнь ему сохрани».
Verse 7. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and he afflicted Job with a malignant ulcer from the soles of his feet to the top of his head.
Пошел противник прочь с глаз Господних, и поразил он Иова лютыми язвами с ног до головы.
Verse 8. Job took a shard of broken pottery to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes.
Взял Иов глиняный черепок, чтобы счищать гной, и сел среди пепла.
Verse 9. Then his wife said to him, are you still holding firmly to your integrity? Curse God and die.
И сказала ему жена: «Ты все еще тверд в непорочности своей? Уж лучше прокляни Бога и умри».
Verse 10. But he replied, you're talking like one of the godless women would do. Should we receive what is good from God and not also receive what is evil? In all this, Job did not sin by what he said.
Но Иов ответил ей: «Ты говоришь, как одна из безумных. Добро мы приемлем от Бога, а зла принимать не будем». И при всем этом не согрешил Иов в слове.
Okay. All right, we have questions.
А у нас есть вопросы.
So I don't know how you would, if you know this word, to say it in Ukrainian. Okay, so why did Satan have the audacity to approach God in the book of Job?
Как у сатаны появилась такая наглость, чтобы подойти к Богу и в книге Иова? Because Adam gave him this like power to be like representative of the earth. Well, it was a meeting, and it was a meeting somewhere in the like university. The all representatives came, and also he came like a representative of our earth.
Interesting. Okay, let's continue. Next question.
Давайте продолжим.
What did Satan want to prove about God's character?
Что хотел сатана доказать Богу о его характере, о Божьем характере? So he wanted to like prove that God is very strict, and so this nobody can fulfill this law that God create. So and no like justice person anywhere.
Okay. Anybody else?
Если кто-то еще хочет добавить?
No?
We know the character of Satan, actually. He wants to show everybody that he is justice, he is correct, that he wants to just complain. That's like a big battle in all universe.
Mhm.
So it was a meeting, like we told already, all like who lives in all the universe, and he came just to complain against that.
Mhm.
Well, so was a big really situation that all universe saw how behaving, if it's possible to say, of Job, you know. And this is very important for us as well, because we should remember that all the universe is looking at us now. What we saying, what we doing, what we thinking, everything. So we need to be very careful what we doing, what we saying, what we thinking.
Yeah. I think also Satan wanted to prove that God is not fair.
Также, мне кажется, Келли кажется, что сатана хотел просто доказать, что Бог несправедлив.
Like, oh, it's impossible to serve him. He's just not fair.
Как бы сказать, это невозможно служить ему, потому что он несправедлив.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Следующий вопрос.
Oops, no, that's it.
Все, на этом закончили.
I thought I had one more.
Кайли думает, что у него был еще один вопрос, но
I really did. I
что-то
thought I had one
случилось.
more. Hold on a second. No. No?
Нету.
Oh, yeah, no.
No?
No. Oh, yes, I do. I just moved this around in the wrong spot.
Окей. Просто в другом месте, не в том, где должен находиться вопрос.
Oh, this is the one. Okay, so.
Еще один вопрос.
Okay, here we go. So why did Job's wife have that reaction?
Почему, как мы думаем, жена Иова отреагировала таким образом?
I thought his wife's reaction was interesting.
Кайли думает, что ее реакция была интересной. She also was traumatized, not less than Job, because she lost her 10 children. And also what they belongs, yeah. And also to see her husband that's like dying, like putrefaction in life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she even didn't realize what she was saying.
Yeah.
Well, I actually agree, because this woman suffered a lot, not less than Job. Maybe she didn't have those diseases, but she lost her children, 10 children
all
in
them.
once.
Not one.
Not once. Yeah. Я тоже согласна с Таней, что, мне кажется, эта женщина страдала очень сильно, не меньше Иова. Хотя, может быть, у нее не было вот заболевания, что она там скребла себя черепками, как Иов, но за один день потерять 10 детей, это вообще себе трудно представить. So we see in here maybe two types of people. One, they not complain, they trust in Lord anyway, independently what situation they are coming through. And the other people, well, trying to complain, and they cannot be that strong, or what, I don't know.
You know, I don't want to judge Job's wife because I don't know what it's like to lose all my children.
No.
You know.
Кайли говорит, что она не хочет судить жену Иова, потому что она не знает, что такое потерять детей. Yeah, it's not. Well, So anyway, Pastor said it wasn't correct decision to like
Curse God.
curse
Yeah,
God.
of course not.
Yeah, because if Job would done this, so he would die and he would be lost forever.
Yeah.
Ну, мне кажется, она может просто не то, что она проклинала Бога, она просто страдала от того, что муж ее страдает. И для нее казалось, что умереть это вот легче и лучше будет в данной ситуации. I think, and I don't know if I'm right, but I'm thinking that she might not think to curse Lord. She just saw suffering of her husband so much. And in her mind, maybe it would be easier in this situation. He died and he wouldn't suffer anymore. This is me. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We will ask Hope
Someday.
one
Yeah.
day. Мы спросим у Иова однажды. Tanya has one question and she would love to have the answer. Well, some time ago, Tanya had this like revelation, and she has this question: why Job was do sacrifice for his children, for anyone? Why those children didn't do those sacrifice? It's not the decision of every like individual. And what is this example like for us in our time? What to do?
I think it's intercessory prayer. Intercessory
Это
prayer.
ходатайственная молитва, она думает.
He's praying for his children, praying on behalf of his children.
Ну, что он молится как бы за своих детей. So Tanya thinks that it's very important, this intercessory praying, because this way we like giving to Lord right to walk in life of those people. You know?
Yeah, intercessory prayer can be hard, especially if you don't like the person.
Ходатайственная молитва может быть очень тяжелой, особенно если тебе не нравится человек.
You guys know my boss got fired like a month ago.
Вы помните, друзья, что месяц тому назад начальница Кайли была уволена.
And I told my mom, I said, I cannot pray for this woman.
И Кайли сказала своей маме, что она не может молиться за эту женщину.
So this is a really evil woman.
Потому что это просто ужасная женщина.
I said, I don't hate her, but I almost hate her.
Кайли говорит, я ее не ненавижу, но почти ненавижу.
And my mom said, she said, I will pray for her.
И мама Кайли сказала, я буду молиться за нее.
She said, my daughter, you can't pray for her. You're too angry, so I will pray for this woman. Yeah.
Она сказала, дочь, ты не можешь молиться за эту женщину, потому что ты слишком как бы разозлилась на нее, но я буду молиться за эту женщину.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. Yeah, so it's very, well, it's a good example for every one of us, because maybe all of us, we had this situation that's not, we have this person that's hard to pray for this.
Yeah.
But praise the Lord that you have mom.
To pray for her.
So she would pray for her, she prayed for her. And also because the Bible said, pray for your enemies.
Yeah.
Even she wasn't your enemy, but well, anyway,
Yeah.
that's hard.
It's hard. Okay. Last, I think this is, last question.
Последний вопрос.
Why did Job say that the Lord gives and the Lord takes away? So actually it's two questions. Because remember in the Bible, it says The Lord gives.
We
the
just
Lord,
read, yeah.
yeah. And then it says, why didn't Job blame Satan?
Почему Иов сказал, Бог дал, Бог и взял? И как бы это два вопроса в одном. Почему Иов не обвинил сатану напрямую? Мгм. Tanya said, well, because he was so confused probably in Job in this situation. And the only he knew that's about Lord.
Mhm.
Now we have open, this is why he said, Lord gave, Lord took, because he knew just about Lord.
He didn't know Satan existed.
He did know Satan, and now we know the situation, what was going on, why Job had this all troubles, right?
Mhm.
And suffering. And in this time, Job didn't know what is going on.
Mm.
And so he didn't know that it was Satan who
That's
started
interesting.
doing.
Interesting. Okay, you guys ready for the vocabulary?
Теперь готовы ли вы к словарной работе?
I think that Tatiana has memorized it.
Мне кажется, что Татьяна запомнила просто.
Let's see if everybody else has. It's
Ну,
the same-
посмотрим, если остальные помнят.
the same words.
Те же самые слова.
Okay.
What do you want them to say?
Yeah.
Кайли хочет, чтобы произносили без нее.
Without Tatiana helping them,
И тоже без Татьяны.
because she knows them.
Потому что Татьяна знает уже. Так, кто будет иметь дерзновение? No. Good.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Следующее.
Okay. This is it.
Wow. It's so good.
Okay. Tatiana, do you want to say it?
Хочешь сказать, Таня?
Okay. All right. We have two songs.
И у нас две песни.
So they're new songs.
Новая песня. What
I
happened?
tried to pick words that are big enough for the screen because you know sometimes the words are too small.
Кайли старалась выбрать, где, чтобы буквы были большими, чтобы было хорошо видно.
I hope.
What happened to surrender?
I got tired of it. And I was worried that if I'm bored, they're bored.
Я просто спросила, что случилось с нашей песней I Surrender All. Кайли говорит, что она уже устала от нее.